Hello everyone. Just 1.5 days after the summer solstice, we are having a full moon. This is the Capricorn full moon. And full moons are usually about completion. But this particular full moon is so close to the summer solstice that the lengthy summer days are still there. That of course it also creates illumination. Not to speak of the fact that when you have a sun-moon opposition, the sun highlights and illuminates the subconscious, and the moon highlights and illuminates the consciousness as well. So that you have this double illumination, double highlighting effect. Let's take a look at the London chart. I did prepare a sheet for you with various placements. And as you can see, it's on the June 22nd at 2:08 a.m. in London. Very, very early so it's really barely 1.5 days after the summer solstice energy. And as you can see, Mars is rising in the London chart. So again, it's going to be quite a fighting energy, yes, since it's the general election. It's what leads up to the general election. The chart clearly tells you this. And on the Capricorn midheaven, you have Ceres, the nurturing principle, which is also your home, your homeland, your family. So you will need to reconsider what is best for your own family, what is best for your own future, what will nurture you, how you are going to decide. And of course, Labor is winning big time. Yes, because it wasn't in power in the past couple of years. And the Tories did everything wrong in the last 4, 5, 6 years. So they deserve to sink in many, many ways. And it's just the whole thing is ridiculous what they really created. What I think and what the problem is that there's no longer Labour Party and Tory Party. I think the people there, the politicians there, are either globalists or nationalists. And because after the Second World War and after the Nazis, the word nationalist is demonized. We could say traditionalists, we could say conservatives. Instead, it in fact remains people who want order, people who want what was good and workable throughout the centuries, throughout millennia. This is what they want. They don't want new ideas. They don't want upheaval. They don't want revolution. But of course, this age is bright with revolutions and revolutionary ideas. And what is striking me always as funny or sad or both is the fact that those who are liberals and these new age liberals who are always adopting either a new cause or a new set of people, group of people who are victimized and they are made up, the new victims, and we need to fight for them. They are usually very, very young. And they look down upon old people and you look down upon traditions. And they will also grow old and they will realize how these traditions were saving the world for so many years. And they only see the good portion, the good features of revolution. They don't understand that all revolutions are very, very bloody and disastrous in their outcome. And so, and another fact is that their ideas are maybe 2 decades old, whereas our ideas are usually centuries or millennia old. And so there's no use really transforming the world for something that we don't know how it's going to work. Anyhow, after winding my frustration, let's take a look at the London chart. It has a packed full house with Neptune on the cusp of the 12th, opposite Black Moon Lilith. This is one of the main features because it creates a ground cross with the Sun Moon, but this ground cross is aneretic, partly aneretic, and dissociate. We are going to take a look at why. But it's actually included, it's incorporated in the full moon energy. As I said, Mars is rising. The South Node in Libra is almost conjunct the vertex, the point of no free will. So it suggests that we are unable to utilize our past energies. It's also intercepted. Aries and Libra are intercepted. Anything in the 12th house gets intercepted. Neptune is not, of course, in the cusp. It's in just in the 12th house. There's huge 12th house. And Chiron, Aries conjunction is nearing. It's applying, and Dark Moon Lilith, which was there in the very prominently in the solstice chart, moved into Taurus already. And the midpoint between Uranus and Jupiter still has Sedna. So again, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, this year's main astrological feature, is again playing some role in this particular full moon chart. Let's take a look, let's take it apart, and let's take a look at this very complex and dissociated and partly energetic planetary picture. The big deal is the dissociated ground cross. And as I said, Black Moon Lilith, which is clairvoyance, and the ability to act what's right, to do what's right, is opposite Neptune, the smoke screen. And this Neptune is energetic in its last degree, very, very strong in its own sign, but very energetic and very, very slow because it is ready to turn back. Instead of moving into Aries, it turns back into its own sign. It feels very, very well in its own sign, of course. So this ground cross is tight, but dissociate. And you can actually take a look at the parts, because the Neptune Sun square is really in water sign, so it has this trine flavor. The Black Moon moon square is also in Earth sign. So again, this square has the flavor of a trine. Besides that, we have a fixed T square, which works perfectly as it is between Pluto, Vesta, and Dark Moon. Dark Moon is at the apex, and Vesta is a focusing principle already in Leo, opposite Pluto. So this says that focus on transformation, even if it means that you need to be cursed. Take the curse upon us, just do what's necessary. But this is a fixed T square, so it is again a difficult energy. There's also a boomerang between Sun, Moon, Vesta, and Sedna. And the boomerang angle is the Sun-Moon opposition, the full moon. And Vesta Sedna denotes focusing on what needs to be rearranged. Focus on the non-working elements of your life, take them apart, and throw them out and create something new and workable from the bits and pieces that remain. And there's also the associate mystic rectangle, and there's also a couple of engines which you can actually take a look and try to assess. But these are the most important, the three, the dissociate ground cross, the fixed T square, and the boomerang are the most important placements in this complex planetary picture. Let's take a look at the transcendental objects. Again, there are three types. The asteroids denote personal karmic issues. They are magenta. The TNOs, SDOs, centaurs, we usually refer them as centaur because it's easier to refer to them, no matter how the astronomers are labeling these trans-Neptunian objects of the Kuiper belt or the scatter disk or the old cloud. They all put in karmic astrology, they are labeled as centaurs. They are blue, they denote our karmic wounds and what we can do with about them. Karmic wounds can work in two ways. They create a lot of pain and, of course, all kinds of phobias, but also special traits and ingeniousness as well. And the red ones are fixed stars. These are the same that 2 days ago, really. We had the very, very same, except for Dark Moon, which moved into Taurus. That's the new energy. So the sun moved away from Betelgeuse and now is only aligned with Menkalian, Beta Auriga. So we still have the chariot energy, where you can utilize the energy of the chariot to overcome a personal defect or inconvenience or some debilitating factor in your life. The sun is still conjunct Justitia, justice, and Apophis. So the two strong asteroids are still there, just like last time. And it reached two centaurs, Asbolus and Chaos. Asbolus is a centaur who is a clairvoyant, but the problem is that every time he makes a mistake, he is being ridiculed. So this is some sort of Cassandra karma. And every time he is right, no one pays attention to what he says. And the sun is on Asbolus. And it means to me that a lot of us, not just astrologers, but also economists and scientists who are not mainstream scientists, are trying to warn the people about the war, the effects of the war, the effects of the economic crisis, the effects of the badly utilized energies. No one pays attention to us. And chaos is chaos. And for quite a while, the sun at the very early degrees of Cancer will always be conjunct chaos. So we are highlighting, this particular full moon is highlighting the chaos, the programmed chaos around us. The moon has Galahad, an asteroid, a hero asteroid, a knight in shining armor. On Neptune, we still have Shared, and it will be there. This is the beta star of Pegasus, denoting, this is the healing word of suicide victims. Pluto will be aligned with Altair for quite some time, until September, October for sure. Actually, not really end of August for sure. This is Alpha Aquila, which is one of the shaman stars. So there's profound healing potentials. Sedna will be aligned with the Pleiades for another 2 years, the home of the creator goddess. And Phaethon and Pan are there as asteroids. Phaethon is destruction, Pan is everything, and also panic. And Pelion, as I said yesterday, is a centaur that denotes the mountain of life that we need to climb in order to understand our goal, and also we are going to meet hardships and difficulties and pain, but they are all necessary for us to evolve. Black moon, sorry, this is Black moon, of course. I usually do this in Hungarian first, and then of course I forget to change the text back into English. Anyhow, so the Black moon is on supergalactic center. It will be there for the next couple of weeks. The degree of the supergalactic center is 1 degree 16 Libra. And this is one of the main key celestial areas in karmic astrology, one of the galactic points. And these galactic points all denote karmic dilemmas. And the supergalactic center has the dilemma of nothing is ever enough. And on the dark moon Lilith, you have Hunnia, which is the Huns, the Hungarians, a fighting nation. Don't believe one sentence that Western historians are writing about us. Nothing is true. They just hated us because we showed a different way of life, and they couldn't tolerate it. And this is exactly what's happening to us now. We are showing a different way of life, a different method of doing stuff, and that is why they are demonizing us still for the last 1500 years at least. And Titania is one of the so-called Atlantean asteroids, so it's linked to Atlantis. And of course, in Atlantis, our world got destroyed, and we are at the brink of again destroying our world. So this is what the dark moon first energy is suggesting. And dark moon has two bright stars, Mirach, which is Beta Andromeda, and Arisha. Andromeda is the part of the Andromeda, Cassiopeia, Capheus, the Perseus story. Perseus, the hero, is rescuing Andromeda, who is thrown out and tied to a rock in the sea because her mother Cassiopeia offends the Nereids, the sea nymphs, and she's being punished by the sea god, and who sends a huge whale, a huge set, in order to swallow the kingdom, and the king can't do anything else but offer his daughter. And of course, Perseus is rescuing her, and so it's the hero energy there, and also the love energy of the feminine. And Arisha is a funny star because it's translated, it's an Arabic word, it means the knot. And it is where the two fish in the constellation Pisces are being tied. And since this is the last constellation, and because it really looks as if there were two fish tied by their tails and unable to move anywhere. And this describes the soul's dilemma. Shall I go back to incarnation? Shall I go return to the wheel? This is one of the fish. Or shall I just come out of it and go on to the higher dimensions? This is the fish that goes up on a higher level. So Arisha is where the dilemmas are being looked at. Okay, let's move on and let's take a look at these chart points, the visible planets, because that is exactly where we were a day and a half later at the summer solstice. But the moon was a little bit less out of bounds. Now it is at minus 28.5. This is the edge of the ecliptic, and you can see it's almost at its outermost position. It's very, very out of bounds at the moment, and it's very to the south. All summer full moons are to the south, and all winter full moons are to the north. This is to be expected because the sun and the moon are opposite and on opposite hemispheres in the sky. Now the sun is very up to the north, and so the moon is very down to the south. And besides the moon, you have still Mercury and Venus in out of bounds position in extreme declination, which usually occurs when we have extreme pain and suffering, and we bring in to this incarnation the out of bounds planet, which could actually have two impacts. Either it gives you the potential to have brilliant traits and interesting, unusual traits, but it could also alienate you from the rest of your family or your peers or your loved ones. So it has a double impact, depending how you utilize it, depending also on the nature of the pain that you suffered. And what sort of pain, you can always look at the planet itself. You only consider the personal planets, and according to the archetype, you can delineate the pain. And there's also a doubly dissolved opposition here. If we take a look at the Ceres MC conjunction opposite the IC, of course, here really the Ceres energy is important, that in your future, you should decide what is best for your homeland and for your family. For this, you need intelligence and thoughtfulness and clairvoyance in a way. As I said, both parties are kind of dishonest. Politicians become politicians because they don't want to work. Sometimes politicians have a vision and they know what they want. But most of this used to be the case 50 years ago, good or bad. But now politicians are of a different sort, totally different sort. So here you have this opposition, the future and the past, your home and your aspirations. And interestingly, the family energy, the nurturing energy is in your future. And this opposition is dissolved by Juno, which is the wife archetype, the first lady archetype, and by Astrea, the karma breaker, the destiny changer. There's this little tiny angel wing constellation at the apex of which is yes, Astrea, the karma breaker. So this is how you can actually dissolve this dilemma that is provided by the MCIC. And finding, of course, people who you can align yourself with. On the midheaven, you have a midheaven Ceres conjunction. You have Electra, the princess who revenges her mother by actually getting her little brother to do the dirty work for her. So it's a very deceitful energy. We will see what this means in the London. I'm sure it will be highlighted by the news. And we have two bright stars, which is brilliant. Vega and Rukbat. Vega is Alpha Lyra, one of the shaman energies, and the fact that music and all kinds of musical instruments are helping us to go one level, at least one level higher, or one dimension higher, or at least dimensions higher. And Rukbat, which is Alpha Sagittarius, is the foot of the celestial archer. And in order to aim, you need steadiness and strength. And this is what is required from you, my dear English fellow men. You need to be steady and strong in order to choose wisely, in order to know what you are doing and how you are choosing for your future. And I really wish you well. On the IC, you have Tantalus and this Tisiphone, two not so very nice asteroids. Tantalus, of course, means eternal pain, and Tisiphone is the goddess of revenge. So, in this particular election, and also for the next 2 weeks, we will see a lot of revenge emerging from the subconscious, from the bowels of the past, so to speak. But there's also Canopus, which is Alpha Carina. This is a southern constellation, and it is linked to burials and funerals when the Egyptians used boats for funeral pyres. And this is Canopus, kind of. And on Juno, you have Antigone, a heroine who is revolting against against human laws versus divine laws, and she chooses divine law even if she needs to give up her life. And Mizar, which is Zeta Ursa Major, is the position where, if you look at the Big Dipper, which is also a chariot, and it has this rod that is broken. And Mizar is where it is broken. And it usually denotes the healing word for broken things. This is where Juno is. So that's why you need to find alliances and support. And Australia, the karma breaker, you have Niobe and Nemesis. Again, two not very nice archetypes. Niobe is the woman who loses all her 14 children because she is very proud, or too proud of them, and baits the goddess who only has Artemis and Apollo. I don't know. I don't. Why don't I remember her name? Leto. Her name is Leto. So goddess Leto, and the daughter and son of Leto are punishing her because Apollo kills all her sons, and Artemis kills all her daughters, and she becomes this weeping rock. She's turned into a weeping rock. So it's immeasurable, huge pain where Australia is there. And Nemesis is the punisher of hubris, the punisher of revolt against the gods. So it's a very interesting chart and very interesting asteroids and centaurs. It's not a positive and absolutely positive chart for the English, for you English. The saving grace, to my mind, is Mars on the ascendant, so you can actually fight. Of course, this Mars is in Taurus, so it's slow and kind of in exile, so it's in detriment. It's not very powerful, but still, that's the saving grace. So go forward. Anyhow, that is the full moon energy. Sorry, what? Okay, this is the full moon energy. For this particular full moon, the Capricorn full moon, just a day and a half after the summer solstice. Happy full moon, and I really hope you will be able to utilize it and choose wisely in the general election. And let's hope what will happen is serving you, your long-term benefits and your short-term benefits as well. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.